interior guys like Quinnen Williams, obviously is Quinnen, but for the edge rushers, we hadn't had an edge rusher of his caliber in like 20 years since John Abraham. Like, you guys remember all the numbers I gave you, the crazy stats he was putting up, how hyped I was, how hyped all of Jet Nation was. I didn't even want to get into it because I was devastated, man. Like we all were. Like on Twitter, we were all, anxious about the news, but we knew it was probably the worst from what we heard because, Connor Hughes said it, with those Achilles injuries. He said when it's rolled up in the back like that, that's kind of it. And then they announced Carl hurt a pop. So yeah, he's done. And it feels like, at first, like you were saying, like that at SOJ, like that kind of stuff happens. Because again, he'd been our first top edge rusher in 20 years. Like a guy of that potential, haven't had a guy like that since John Abraham. He was living in the backfield all camp, all offseason. Next to Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore, he was easily the most hyped player everyone was excited about. Easily. So it was devastating. And I know I tweeted it out. I basically wanted to throw my phone in anger. I needed time off. You could ask my fiance. I was pissed. I was not doing well. I was really upset. I was angry. Went through a bunch of stuff, tweeted a bunch of stuff, talking again about Bryce Huff, or, gonna get into as well. But as the healing process goes, I immediately start to realize two things. And the first thing I realize is, okay, yeah, we lost Carl Lawson, but the most important thing is the people in charge. The most important thing is Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, the right people in the right places, bringing in the right talent. So this is still our beginning. Like, this hasn't changed. It's definitely a kick in the crotch, like the hardest kick in the crotch you could even imagine. But it's still our beginning. Like, Joe Douglas is there, Robert Saleh is there, Zach Wilson is there. Yeah. We're going to rise together. Like, we're going to keep moving forward together. And I also realized, because I went to do some stat polls, because you guys know stats are my thing, also helps make me feel better. Robert Saleh's 49ers defense back in 2018 and 2019 was ranked first in the entire NFL in quarterback hurry percentage. No team hurried the quarterback more. Then in 2020, they lost their star, Nick Bosa. And I love Carl Lawson, but he's not Nick Bosa. They lost Nick Bosa and Dee Ford and Zeke Ansah, yet they still finished top 5 in hurry percentage. That's because this defense is designed, like we've talked about and I've mentioned, with getting to the quarterback. And you nailed it before. What's so important is, Saleh said it so many times, how we handle adversity matters. How we handle things like adversity matters the most. And honestly, the answer now, yet it sucks. It's horrible. I'm devastated, but next man up. Next man up right now. And those next men you mentioned are, Bryce Huff, who you guys know, like I was saying earlier with CJ, like Zuniga's been your guy forever. Man, Huff is my guy. Like, I love Bryce Huff. I loved him in Memphis. I wanted us to draft him in the later rounds. I couldn't believe he didn't get drafted. When we got him as UDFA, I freaked out. And here's why. In his sophomore year, he put up 15 and a half TFLs. Oh, sorry, that's his junior. In his sophomore year, even better. He put up 19 TFLs and 9.5 sacks. He was named to the second team All-AC, and his 19 TFLs were tied for second in the whole conference. 9.5 sacks tied for third. Now, the next year, he actually transitions from outside linebacker to hand in the dirt defensive end. And he still has an amazing year. Not as good. 15.5 TFLs, 6.5 sacks, 16 QB hurries. Still played really well. You guys remember I got the chance to have an exclusive interview with him. What blew me away the most is I asked him about that. I asked him about how he had a great year at outside linebacker, great year hand in the dirt. How was the transition? And he corrected me because remember we talked about it. He's like, I've been playing my hand in the dirt my whole life. Like my whole life, I've been a hand in the dirt 4-3 outside linebacker, 4-3 edge rusher. Like I had to learn to be an outside linebacker. I guess it's just awesome that he balled out in his sophomore year as an outside linebacker. But he was made for this system. And we saw it in the first preseason game, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs. We're getting Vinny Curry back week 2. Remember, John Franklin Myers told me Vinny Curry is the fastest get-off he's ever seen, even at his age still right now. Guy put up 10 QB hits last year at 32. And we have Ronald Blair. Like, I think he's going to get an opportunity right now, especially because, with the Carl Lawson situation, he could get an option. So, Ronald Blair, which is interesting, he was a 5th-round pick not too long ago, a couple years back. He's been with the 49ers. He was one of the best defensive linemen in Sun Belt history. This dude put up over 50 TFLs, 20 sacks in the NFL, which is wonderful. I have the numbers right here. He had 13 and a half sacks in just 47 games with the Niners as a situational pass rusher. And he's a good run stopper as well. I like him as a run stopper. I love his potential there. He might be one of the better edge rusher run stoppers on the team, but he's also been a decent sack guy, but he's been situational. See, he's going to get more of an opportunity now, especially as familiar with the 49ers scheme. And you guys mentioned John Franklin Myers. I, liked him on the inside more because we had Lawson. But now that Lawson's gone, everything changes. I think Huff and Myers are going to be those two guys mainly eating on the edge. And Myers, man, last year, he had 27 QB pressures, second on the whole team, 11 QB knockdowns, first on the team, 4 more than Quinnen had, and he had 13 QB hits, which is second on the team and only 1 less than Q. So we still got Quinnen, who again is one of the best interior defensive guys in the league. We got Franklin Myers. We got Huff, we were just talking about. Ronnie Blair could be in the situation. Even Zuniga now actually has a chance with Lawson gone. So it sucks. The situation sucks, but it's next man up.